You can't even read the names because then you start thinking that the name of the paint is important. I mean, who doesn't want Eskimo boot? Silky green, like sign me up. Sheepskin, I don't even care what the color is, I want it. Do not pick a paint by its name. I'm Bea, a designer and a DIYer with a passion for home improvement. Whoa! I just bought my first house and it needs a lot of work. A lot of vandalism, rodent, stripper pole here, rat stage here. So it's time to put my skills to the test. I love learning from the pros, but sometimes I'm gonna try things my way. Join me for the adventure. Hey, I'm Bea, and on today's episode, I'm finishing my dining nook. This dining nook is the only addition that I made to the house. I knew from the beginning I wanted this room to have windows on 3 sides. This idea that this would almost be a sunroom. This room is a completely blank canvas. The windows are in, and now I'm kind of at a loss of what to do. There's so many decisions to make. I mean, there's no light fixture, there's no paint on the walls, there's not even a floor. I have an idea. I want to talk to an interior designer.
Hi, Bea.
Hi, Maria. You're here.
I am here and I am so excited.
I see you've brought goodies.
Oh, yes.
Now, Maria, you're an interior designer, but you actually work a little more specifically. Tell me about that.
I basically focus on health, wellness, and sustainability.
Very cool. What does that mean?
It means that I am looking to make sure that any space that I design is as non-toxic as possible. Because a lot of the materials that end up getting used are, I hate to say it, either carcinogens or endocrine disruptors. Some manufacturers are working to remove these things, or they are creating new products. So I am constantly looking for the things that are the healthiest for people and for you.
One of my goals is to be more sustainable in this room, in this house. Like, where do I start?
You start with your own values and priorities.
Okay.
When you're talking about trying to be sustainable when it comes to the home, it can be overwhelming. So you have to break it down into what you value and then take it a step at a time.
Let me gather all my materials, my committed design choices.
And then I'm gonna maybe
I'm gonna
mess it up.
It's gonna get messy.
Totally gonna mess it up.
So here's what I got. This is the floor.
This is the parquet that was in the house.
Oh, yeah.
So this is a reuse.
Yes.
Very sustainable.
Yay!
Okay.
This is a sample, just a little cutting of these old beams that I have. My dad actually salvaged them from a house he was working on. So
We love salvaged material.
Yeah. I love the kind of life on them. These are like little nail holes.
That would be the most sustainable thing to do.
Okay.
Is just to use them as is.
Great.
Because then you're not adding any varnishes or sealers,
Yep.
which get filled with all sorts of toxins. So that's fantastic.
Great.
Looking and seeing what you like, I start to see an aesthetic, sort of very natural.
I forgot something very important.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so
Wow. Fabulous.
I found this on App Deco.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's secondhand.
Amazing resource for secondhand goods. Secondhand is really important to me.
One way that you can be sustainable is to reduce your waste. So you can buy things that are secondhand. You're not using virgin materials in the finishes that you put into your home.
I do feel like secondhand, low waste, that is very high for me because in my experience, it's just a very actionable thing I can do every single day.
I have color wheels so that
Cool.
we can look at the colors and how they relate to one another.
I mean, I'll just admit, I'm very afraid of color. That's kind of what I need you for. I am just totally overwhelmed.
So when we create color harmonies in a space with complementary colors, our brains just kind of go, ah. Wellness takes into account neuroscience and how that affects us, because there are ways that you can build spaces incorporating biophilic design.
Sorry,
Yes.
what's that?
Biophilic design basically taps into humans' innate connection to nature. You have these amazing windows. You, maybe without even knowing, incorporated biophilic design because you brought nature in by allowing yourself the view. Our brains love to chew on the patterns of nature, the shifts in light. Whoa. It will reduce cortisol levels, it'll calm people, it can help people to focus.
I love that idea because this whole house for me is calming. You brought this healthy paint.
The Ecos paint deck.
Okay.
And I know that we had sort of pre-selected some colors that are all in the neutrals for your walls. They have very low VOCs, so they reach a standard, and I think it's one of the California standards for VOC emissions.
Which California has high standards.
Yes, they do. One of the things that you want to avoid when looking for paints is alkyl phenol ethyl oxalates. And I think I just said that wrong.
Okay.
They are carcinogens.
This is a paint sample, right?
Put it up on the wall and look at it, because paint will change with the light.
I already see the difference of like the light hitting it here
Completely.
versus it going up on the ceiling. So that's how you would sample kind of any paint color.
Yep. I'm unpacking the fire clay tiles. Fire clay set goals for themselves of zero waste. They are a B corporation. They reuse a lot of their materials to remake their clay tiles. Is there anything that jumps out at you?
Jumps out?
Yep.
These two do.
This blue picks up the orange undertones in all of these things.
Interesting. I mean, yeah,
And
there's
that
like a...
is exactly across from each other on the color wheel.
Oh,
Blue
wild.
and orange. And color is fascinating. You can also put certain colors together next to each other and they'll literally vibrate. There's so much to play with. You could bring things in different ways.
All of these brands you're bringing in here are vetted by like your criteria of what's health, wellness, sustainability in the home.
Yes, and they all have some certification. And certifications are important because what you have to be careful of is greenwashing and marketing. It's rampant, and companies will use terms like sustainable, or they'll say, oh, recycled content. You have to be very careful to understand what that means. The GOTS standard is the Global Organic Textile Standard. It's something to look for, whether you're looking for sheets, bedding, clothing. It means that from start to finish, from growing the fibers, the plant, to the finished product, it is organic. So it's truly non-toxic. But ultimately, you have to go with something that your gut says you like. It's your home.
The best way to do that is by sampling, right?
Yes, sample, sample, sample. Looking at them all together, you know, it's kind of like a happy family. You want to make sure that they all get along.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot to think about.
It is. We're never going to make decisions in one sitting.
No, you should never make decisions in a sitting. Would you like to sit at the table?
Oh, yes.
We're doing this in a completely unconventional way, but this works.
Okay.
So, I've got 52 inches.
Okay.
It's a pretty wide table.
And is that a standard size?
No,
Okay.
but at least we know what the limits are. You need to know what else needs to be in here.
Yeah.
We're gonna see how big your space is. 10 feet, 5 inches. Let's mark a few things out. And then we've got to decide, how many people do you want to seat? How much space are you comfortable allowing yourself, your guests, whoever's gonna be here, to get by? Is it a round table? Is it a square table? Is it a longer rectangle?
Thank you so much, Maria. There's so much to think about, and you are this like wealth of knowledge on the health, wellness, sustainability in the home, and I find it so fascinating, and I feel very lucky that you shared so much of it today.
Thank you. I'm really happy to help. Hopefully that niche will not be niche for too much longer as more people are doing what you're doing. But before that happens, you've got your work cut out for you. You've got homework.
I know.
You got to pick a paint color, you have to pick a tile color, and you have to source a table. I'm looking forward to seeing what you land on, and I'm wishing you tons of luck.
Thank you.
And you can always call. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Maria. I guess it's time to do some homework. Maria gave me a lot to think about, and now it's time to hone in on what materials I want in this space and what I want it to look like. Maria was telling me to always take your paint samples around the room, see it in different light, see it in artificial light, because that'll impact or change the way that you see the color. It's one thing to see your paint up close, but it's a totally different thing to step back and see it from afar. This is another tip I heard about. Walk out of the room. And then you come back in with fresh eyes. It looks cool. Yeah, it's just like a little subtle touch that I think does make a huge difference, especially because of the view. You get the blue skies and they just kind of continue inside the house, which is kind of cool. That biophilic design that Maria was talking about. I see how it's important to have all of your materials together so that you can make decisions at the same time with everything present instead of, one thing at a time. Liam and I are cutting down these salvage beams. We've only got one shot. This is a 200-year-old beam. It's a measure twice, cut once moment. Thinking about Maria's criteria for tiles, I was shocked to find a handmade and sun-dried Satillo tile at a major hardware store. I had to look through all of the boxes to find enough tiles that weren't damaged, but after a lot of digging, I found them. 99 tiles for my dining nook. This is only my second time tiling. Let's see how it goes. The dining nook is complete and I'm very, very happy with it. I think it's just serene and inviting, and it has this kind of old world feel to it that I love because it's actually the newest part of the house, but it looks just like a perfect fit. It's become this elevated sunroom that I think I only kind of dreamt about. Choosing paint was very hard. As we all know, I'm a little bit color averse, so I finally landed on a great white. What Maria talked about was bringing in the warm tones into this room, and I found this really beautiful creamy white that I love from Eco's Paints, and I matched that with it's called Met Gray, and it's another Eco's Paint color, and that was one of their suggested pairings, and I am just thrilled with the way it came out. I think it frames the windows so beautifully and softens them so that the nature outside really steals the show. The beams that I used, those were salvaged from a home to frame this nook. It gives it this little threshold framing. I think the beams help make this space a little bit cozier. And it also ages this house in a way. It makes it look like this house is actually much older than it is, in a good way. I love how the Art Deco chandelier fills the ceiling. It has these long, curved, spindly arms that I think soften some of the harder edges of this room. I knew I wanted to go with a matte finish for my tile. There's so much light bouncing around this room already that I didn't want any glossiness on the floor. So that's why I went searching for a different floor tile. Not only were they handmade in North America, but they were also very affordable. And that was kind of shocking to me because I think part of me thought that to be sustainable, to be eco-friendly, meant that there would be a big price tag. They brought in that color, I think, that Maria was kind of pointing me to. So when I found these red Satillo tiles with kind of red and yellow and orange hues, they are a little loud for me, but I trusted the conversation that Maria had about color. So these tiles were just such a good find, and I'm so happy with how they turned out. I went on a big search for my dining room table, and ultimately, I found this table for free on a Facebook group. So while it may not have been the table I would have picked out at a store, the fact that it is secondhand and it was free makes me love this table even more. I was so overwhelmed with this room because it was such a blank slate, and I couldn't be happier with where it is now. I think it really is a representation of me, my style, and my responsibility to the earth, my strive for eco-friendly and sustainable choices. What really stuck with me from my time with Maria was that bringing sustainability into your home doesn't need to be this overwhelming overhaul of your space. She was able to unpack it for me in a way that I think will carry through to the rest of the house. It's not just about a carbon footprint of a product or a material, it's also about the health and the wellness that it brings to your home. What might be seen as a limitation as far as low carbon footprint or low emission materials can also open a door to a different kind of design or look than you thought was possible. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.